Let's talk about alcoholism in Fallout New Vegas. I just really wanted to say that. I love video games in part because you can use mechanics and systems to support your narrative or create entire ideas just from the interaction. For example, Celeste, the entire game is all about overcoming something, right? In the story, it's about overcoming trauma. But in the gameplay, it's about actually overcoming the difficulty of the game and trying over and over again. Thomas Was Alone is a game all about teamwork, and you can't even beat like the third level without working with someone else. These games put this stuff together to support their story, but systems can also convey ideas on their own. And I want to use Fallout New Vegas's alcohol and alcoholism systems to discuss that. So, in Fallout New Vegas, you have alcohol that you can drink, and that alcohol creates some effects. So there are bonuses and there are debuffs. You will immediately get -1 to your intelligence, +1 to your strength, and +1 to your charisma. You can also get addicted to these, to alcohol. There is a random chance that every time you have a drink, you could become addicted. So this is an interesting system in and of itself, right? Oh, do I want to use this thing, or do I want to end up, if I use too much, I'll end up getting addicted. This is a nice push and pull. I like that. However, the effects of addiction are lacking, in my opinion. So the effects are basically, when you do not have alcohol in your system, you get debuffs, and it's -1 to your charisma, -1 to your agility. So what that means is that as long as you have alcohol on you, you can completely negate the effects of addiction. I don't like this for a couple reasons. One of them is the fact that as long as you have alcohol, you can just not be addicted. And that is a huge problem, because since having alcohol now gives you +1 strength and +1 charisma, it can actually be considered advantageous to you if you don't need intelligence. If you're a character who isn't going to be using intelligence in any way, then strength and charisma would be way more useful for you. And I happen to be playing a character who was a very dumb character, who was very strong and very charismatic in one of my playthroughs. And very quickly found that alcohol was actually an extremely good way to boost his abilities. So, unsurprisingly, he became an alcoholic, because it is a random chance. So he was drinking a lot and randomly became an alcoholic. The problem that I ran into, though, were a couple things. One, the effects of drinking doesn't change based on how much you've had or how long you've been drinking. So, for example, if you have 3 drinks, which in the game would be like 3 bottles of vodka, which is an insane amount, that doesn't actually change the amount of alcohol or amount of drunkenness you feel. Instead, it just prolongs how long you're drunk for. On top of that, as anyone who's ever, drank anything over a long period of time knows, you build up a tolerance, right? When you first have your drink when you're 21, wait till you're 21, kids. When you first have your drink when you're 21, you're going to get hit a lot harder with that alcohol because our body doesn't understand how to really handle it. But as you drink more and more and develop a beer belly or whatever, you'll get a lot better at it. And so your body knows how to process that out a lot faster, which means one beer doesn't get you to the same place that it used to. This doesn't happen in the game. And the reason I think that's actually really important is because you want, at least I would think you would want the addiction to kind of continue to be a nuisance as the player goes on. The problem with that is that as the player goes on, they're getting better and better at the game, which means they have more money, they have better skills, And they probably also can carry more than they did before. So that means they can carry more alcohol on them, they can buy more alcohol, and they can even possibly make their own alcohol. So you've now put the player in a situation where they can completely negate the effects of addiction always, just as long as they have alcohol on them, and they've made it it ends up being really, really easy to do that. So this is an issue in my opinion. I also want to mention that because of the fact that there's no progression in alcoholism, the effects just stay the same. It's that -1 to charisma, -1 to agility. Because of that, you can't ever have this like progressive, like getting closer to the edge or eventually hitting like rock bottom. I want to go back to my character I was talking about. I was playing as him, and he was an alcoholic, and I actually, in that playthrough, killed Caesar. And the way I was playing it was, this character, he's dumb. He thinks that's going to fix all the problems. He was an alcoholic. He rushed in there. He also had a temper and killed pretty much everyone. Killed all of them. And then thought that he had fixed the problem and went home. And he had no purpose in life anymore. So he was just kind of drinking. And I wanted him to hit rock bottom. I needed him to have this moment where he needed to change. And because there was no alcoholism system, that didn't happen. There was no rock bottom. So instead what I did was I played for a while and then just decided that he had died at some point. He drank too much and went into a vault he wasn't ready for and died. I'm not saying that Fallout New Vegas needed to have a robust, complex alcoholism system. But I am saying that the system we have actually ends up making alcoholism beneficial to the player. And rather than saying something like, oh, alcoholism is a real challenge, it's actually saying that not only can alcoholism be managed, but it can also be helpful. And that is just something that makes me feel a bit uncomfortable. Fallout New Vegas is an incredible game, and it's incredible they got this game out in 18 months. They spent the time on the right stuff. I am not saying that they should have taken away time from other work to get this in there. I'm just saying that mechanics encourage and discourage behavior, and they tell stories. We should always be aware of what our systems are saying to our players, and analyzing how our favorite games present tough topics. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm trying out a thing where I'm just doing a little more free-form stuff with a couple notes. If you really enjoy this, please comment below. Tell me about how you felt about the alcoholism system in New Vegas, or maybe it's different in Fallout 4 or the original Fallout or something like that. I don't remember Fallout 4 or some of these others. And let me know what you think about other systems and games that convey narratives. Thanks for watching. That was such a weird outro. What was that?